Hello and welcome everyone on this official platform of Legacy IAS Academy. So today in this session, I'm going to discuss one of the most important topic which is important for your prelims examination 2024. Now in this session, I'm going to discuss all the charter acts of British India. Now, why charter acts are important? Because charter acts were like various reforms and various measures that were adopted by the British, and it is also related to British policies towards India. So let's begin with the session. So Charter Act starts from 1793. So first Charter Act, that is Charter Act of 1793, that came in 1793 during the time period of Governor General John Shore. बहुत सारे लोग कंफ्यूज रहते हैं, वो समझते हैं कि कॉर्नवालिस के टाइम पीरियड में आया था. नो, दिस एक्ट केम ड्यूरिंग द टाइम पीरियड ऑफ जॉन शोर. Clear? Now, why this Charter Act is important? Because this Charter Act has given officially veto power to Governor General of Bengal. Now, Governor General can override his council also. Another important thing in this Charter Act was that the salaries of Board of Control, now it will be paid from Indian revenues rather than British government. That means more taxation on people. That is why in 1793 you will see that permanent settlement, that company should have permanent rights, permanent revenue, fixed revenue. Clear? So the Governor General was given more powers here in this act. So let me tell you the most important thing that this act did. This act increased centralization basically. Getting my point? This act increased centralization. Now how this act increased centralization? Because Governor General of Bengal was given more powers. Clear? That he could override his council decision under certain circumstances. Now, here, so given more powers in the sense that means Governor General got veto power. And what was the structure of this Governor General Council? The structure was 3 plus 1. One was Governor General of Bengal and 3 other members. This is the structure of Governor General Executive Council. Clear? Now, Governor General of Bengal was also given authority over governors of Madras and Bombay. Yes, from here only, Governor General of Bengal got immense power over, and Governor of Madras and Bombay, they became subordinate to Governor General of Bengal. Clear? Remember this thing. So, whenever Governor General was present in Madras or Bombay, he would supersede in authority over governors of Madras and Bombay. तो जब भी गवर्नर जनरल बॉम्बे में होगा और किसी भी प्रेसिडेंसी में होगा, remember this thing, he can supersede in authority over governors of Madras and Bombay. Then in the Governor General absence from Bengal, now if Governor General is absent, then Governor General of Bengal has the power to appoint Vice President. तो अगर गवर्नर जनरल नहीं है, जैसे आज प्रेसिडेंट में होता है, if president is not there, then vice president can act as president. Similarly, if Governor General of Bengal was not there, he could appoint vice president from among the civilian members of his council. Remember this thing, from among the civilian members of his council. Clear? Remember this thing, as a vice president. Now, apart from this, another important thing which mentions increased centralization, that was composition of Board of Control was changed. Yes. Now, composition of Board of Control was changed. How composition was changed? So, remember one thing, before this Charter Act, there was one act which was called as Pitt's India Act. And in Pitt's India Act, a double government was started. Double government in the sense, one was Court of Directors, who will look after the commercial functions of the company, and administrative functions will be looked after by Board of Control. So here the composition of Board of Control was changed. Now in this, now Board of Control was to have a president and 2 junior members who were not necessarily the members of private council. Remember this thing. तो अब board of control में क्या होगा? That there will be one president in board of control and two junior members who were not the necessarily members of private council. Clear everyone? So this was there in terms of, so these provisions increased centralization. Now another important feature in this Charter Act is related to trade. Another important thing which is related to trade. Now trade in the sense, because this Charter Act renewed the monopoly of East India Company for next 20 years. That means this act renewed commercial privileges of East India Company for another 20 years. So now you will see another Charter Act in 1813, that is after 20 years. Now under this, senior officials of the company, they were barred from leaving India without permission. अब senior official बिना permission के इंडिया नहीं छोड़ सकते. Clear? Now if they did so, it would be considered as resignation. अगर उन्होंने ऐसा किया, then it would be considered as resignation. Then the company was granted the authority to grant licenses to individuals. Now company got authority to give license to individuals and company employees to carry on trade in India. तो अब कंपनी को एक पावर दे दी गई that company can grant authority to, now they can grant licenses to individuals and company officials to do trade in India, and this is known as privilege or country trade. Clear? And because of this only, this resulted into shipments of opium to China, and that is why opium was introduced in China, and that later that resulted into opium war. Clear? Now another important thing or another important provision of this act was with respect to royal approval and sovereignty. Now first of all, I would like to tell that this is with respect to sovereignty. Now the question is how? Because this act established acquisition of sovereignty by the subjects of crown on behalf of crown. So whatever the things that will be acquired, so here in this thing, अब ये act क्या कहता है? Acquisition of sovereignty by crown subject, and that should be on behalf of crown. That means it was not its own right. That means अब ये act क्या कह रहा है? See that whatever the functions, political functions are performed by the company, those functions are on the behalf of British government. Getting my point? Now whatever the political functions performed by the company, those political functions on behalf of British crown or British government. Why? Because at the same time French Revolution was already started. Clear? That is why changes in laws. Clear? Now apart from these things, question with respect to exchequer. Now salaries of staff and board of control were now charged to the company, not from British government. तो ये एक तरीके से क्या था? Burden on East India Company. That is why in 1793 permanent settlement. That means more taxation on people. Clear? So after all expenses, company had to pay British government 5 lakh from Indian revenue annually. Yes. After all the expenses, company had to pay 5 lakh from Indian revenues annually to British government. Clear? And companies' dividend were allowed to be raised to 10% here. So because of these reasons, more taxation on Indian people. More taxation, and that is why it was also one of the factors to capture the territories, and that resulted into subsidiary alliance. Clear? Now, this act continued the company's rule over British territories in India. Yes. So इस act ने British company के rule पर कोई भी change नहीं किया था, and this act, the most important thing, this act separated revenue administration and judicial functions of the company, which resulted into the disappearance of mal adalats, which is also called as revenue courts. So this act basically separated revenue functions and judicial functions. This much is clear to all of you. Remember these things are very important. Now apart from these things, royal approval was also necessary. Now, royal approval in the sense, now for the appointments of Governor General, for the appointment of Commander in Chief and governors, royal approval was necessary. Clear? So, royal approval was necessary for the appointment of Governor General, governors and Commander in Chief. तो अब यहां पर याद रखिएगा कि पावर किसके पास आ गई थी? रॉयल्स के पास. दैट मींस ब्रिटिश पार्लियामेंट. क्लियर एवरीवन? ओके, सो रिमेंबर दिस. This is considered as one of the most important act, clear, which extended the monopoly of East India Company. Now the salaries of staff and board of control was also charged from Indian revenue. Clear? Remember this thing. And Charter Act of 1793 also provided Indian translation of laws for government of India. Clear? Now, after 20 years, a new Charter Act came. Now that is Charter Act 1813. Now why this act came? First of all, what was the historical background of this act? Now let me tell you, now why this act. There are various reasons actually. There are various reasons, because by 1810 there was increase in British capitalist in Britain Parliament. Getting my point? So let me tell you 4 important reasons. So increase in British capitalist in Britain Parliament. Now if British capitalists were increased, clear, so now they will ask for to reduce the monopoly or to end the monopoly of East India Company. अब ये बाकी के ब्रिटिश कैपिटलिस्ट जो थे ब्रिटेन में, ये क्या चाहते थे? दैट द मोनोपोली ऑफ ईस्ट इंडिया कंपनी शुड बी एंडेड सो दैट वी कैन आल्सो डू ट्रेड एंड कॉमर्स. नाउ द क्वेश्चन हियर इज व्हाई? Because of rise of Napoleon in France, rise of Napoleon in 1799, and in 1807 Napoleon came out with continental policy. So Napoleon created one policy which is considered as an economic war against Britain. Now what is continental policy? In this, because 2/3 of Europe was under the control of Napoleon, so Napoleon said to its allies and friends that none of the European countries is going to do trade and commerce with Britain. Now India was not only the market for British, Europe, whole Europe was the market for Britain. But when Napoleon came, so Napoleon started economic war in the name of continental policy कि अब कोई भी यूरोपियन कंट्री ब्रिटेन के साथ ट्रेड नहीं करेगी. So now East India Company's monopoly was there in India. So East India Company पे इतना impact नहीं पड़ेगा, but other capitalists in Britain whose economy or whose trade and commerce dependent on European market, clear, that is why they demanded that the monopoly of East India Company should be ended in India, and other British capitalists should also start trade and commerce with India. So remember this thing. That was also one of the reasons for Charter Act of 1813. Then another important reason, another important for background was Adam Smith policy. Now Adam Smith, who is also considered as father of political economy, and his policy was laissez-faire doctrine. That means no interference of state in terms of economy. Clear? So companies' monopoly over India should be ended, and other British groups should also do trade and commerce with Indian subcontinent. Getting my point? Remember this thing. So that is why British capitalists requested to abolish monopoly of East India Company. This much is clear to all of you. Okay, ये याद रखिएगा. So these were the reasons. This was the background. Now, in this scenario, what was the provision of this Charter Act 1813? So the first provision is that it ended the monopoly of East India Company except China trade and tea trade. Getting my point? Now, what are the provisions of Charter Act 1813? Clear? Now try to understand. अब provisions क्या क्या है? This asserted crown sovereignty on British possessions in India. Yes, for the first time, this act asserted the crown's sovereignty over British possession in India. Now it is not under the rule of company. So gradually you can analyze that how crown is taking place. Clear in India, and that is why after revolt of 1857, crown को मौका मिल गया अपना रूल स्टैब्लिश करने का. Clear? So asserted crown sovereignty over British possessions in India, and company's rule was extended to another 20 years. Yes, though the monopoly of company was ended, East India Company's monopoly was ended except China trade and tea trade, and the monopoly was extended for 20 years. So now next act will be after 20 years, that is Charter Act of 1833. So their trade monopoly was ended except for trade in tea, opium and with China. Now this act also empowered local governments to tax people subject to the jurisdiction of Supreme Court. Yes, clear. So remember this thing. This act basically empowered local government कि वो local peoples पे tax लगा सकते हैं. Clear? And they were the subject to the jurisdiction of this Supreme Court. Clear? Which was established in 1774 at Calcutta. Now company's dividend was fixed at 10.5. In previous act it was 10%. Now here 10.5. So this act gave more powers for the courts in India over European British subjects. So this act also gave more power to the courts. Clear? Over European British subjects. This much is clear to all of you. Now, another important feature in this act was to grant permission to the missionaries. Yes, this act gave permission to the missionaries so that they can enter in India and they can engage in religious proselytization. Clear? So missionaries were successful in getting the appointment of bishops. So bishops were appointed. Clear? And the headquarter of bishop was at Calcutta. Clear? This was a provision in this act. Now this act was the first act where in this mentioned about education. That means grant should be allocated for education. So company was to take up greater role in education for the Indians also, and that is why 1 lakh rupees, 1 lakh was set for this purpose. Now, अब education अगर promote करना है, so you have to change the mindset also. That is why it resulted into various social reforms and religious reforms movement. Raja Ram Mohan Roy, Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar. Getting my point? Remember this thing. And apart from this, this act revived financial grant, or this act provided financial grant towards the revival of Indian literature and promotion of science. So इस act ने financial grant provide किया ताकि Indian literature को revive किया जाए. Getting my point? And science should be promoted. That means rationalism should be there. So basically this act actually increased the power and opportunities for the English merchants, and that is why the conflict was started between English merchant and zamindars. Clear? And that is why in 1822 you will see that important revenue systems came like Rayyatwadi. Excuse me. Mahalwadi, etc. This one is clear to all of you. So these things are important with respect to the Charter Act 1813. Getting my point? So why this act is important? Let me tell you. For the very first time in Charter Act of 1813, amount was allocated for education, 1 lakh, though that amount was not spent till 1833. Why? Because there was one controversy that in what medium education should be provided. So finally the debate and the committee was established under the chairmanship of Macaulay, and finally English medium of education was established in 1835, which is called as Macaulay Minute of Education. This much is clear to all of you? Getting my point? Remember this thing. Now, another act, that is Charter Act of 1833. Now, why this act? First of all, Charter Act is also called as St. Helena Act. Now, why this is called as St. Helena Act? Because let me tell you that this act is called as St. Helena Act. Why? Because this act took away St. Helena Island from English East India Company by British Crown. So British Crown has taken St. Helena Island from East India Company, and this act also extended East India Company charter for 20 years. Now this act extended the charter or the right to do trade and commerce in India for another 20 years. That is why you will see that another Charter Act will come after 20 years, that is 1853. Now, what was the historical background? So the historical background of this act was, this act came against the backdrop of important changes. Clear? And that important backdrop was Industrial Revolution. So Industrial Revolution was on its peak. अब इंडस्ट्रियल रेवोल्यूशन कब शुरू हुआ ब्रिटेन में? फ्रॉम 1750 onwards till 1850. So by this time labor of Britain was very costly, just like जैसे आज चाइना में लेबर बहुत कॉस्टली है. That is why British wanted to invest in India, but for workforce, because India was the market of labor at that time. So to create the mindset of that kind, that is why education medium of English education as a medium was introduced. Clear? So Industrial Revolution, and second important thing, liberal movement took place in 1832 in England, and that liberal movement was, now liberalism was introduced, and Parliament, that is why Parliament was asked to renew the charter in 1833. So liberal movement came in Britain. Clear? Now first of all, in this, India became a British colony. Yes, for the very first time, you will, when you analyze this act, then you will realize that India became a British colony. Now the question here is how? Because now this Bombay Presidency, Bengal, Madras. So this Bombay is X, Bengal Y, and Madras Z. So X plus Y plus Z, this became British India. That means अभी तक British India word का use नहीं किया गया. Now British India was used. Why? Because consolidation of territories was completed here. Consolidation. Clear? So that is why in this act, Governor General of Bengal was redesignated as Governor General of India. Getting my point? So in this act, complete centralization took place. Getting my point? That means financial, legislative, and administrative centralization. So this act gave financial, legislative, and administrative centralization. Clear? So that is why governors of Bombay and Madras, they lost their legislative powers also. Now everything is in the hands of Governor General of India. Clear? So governor, now country's administration became unified under one control, that is Governor General of India, and that is why Governor General had legislative power over entire British India. अब Governor General of India की पूरे British India पर power रहेगी. Clear? So these presidencies, they lost their legislative power. So Governor General in Council had the authority to amend, repeal or alter any law. So in this act, Governor General Council had the authority to amend, repeal any law. Getting my point? Now rules will be considered as acts. So abhi tak rules the, but now centralized authority came, so rules became acts now. Clear? So they can alter any law pertaining to all people and places in British Indian territories. Remember this thing. Whether it is British, foreign or Indian, native. So everything was under the control of Governor General of India. Clear? Now, civil and military affairs of the company were controlled by Governor General in Council. Yes. Now, civil and military affairs will be controlled by Governor General Council. That is considered as one of the most important thing. Clear? So, Governor General of India was given more powers or given superintendence over all civil and military powers. This much is clear to all of you. So, Governor General Council was to have 4 members here. Yes. अब एक चीज याद रखिएगा, अभी तक कितने मेंबर्स थे इन प्रीवियस एक्ट? 3+1 members and Governor General. But now the composition is in Charter Act 1833. Composition was 3+1 and +1. Now you must be thinking why this one was outside, because this one was law member. For the first time law member was introduced in Governor General Council. तो अब इसको बाहर क्यों रखा है मैंने? The reason here is because this law member, now his advice was obligated, now his advice was necessary, but इसकी advice को follow करना वो जरूरी नहीं था. Now law member was not having the right to vote also. Getting my point? So for the first time law commission was created. Clear? So a law member was appointed in Governor General Executive Council for professional advice. So remember this thing, T.B. Macaulay was the first law member. So for the first time Governor General's government was called as Government of India. So now Governor General's government was called as Government of India and the council was called as Indian Council. So for the first time it was called as India Council, because now centralization was there, Governor General of India was there. Getting my point? Now, so another important thing, Indian Law Commission, as just I have mentioned that for the first time law commission was established, and this act mandated that any law made in India was to be put before British Parliament. तो अब इस एक्ट ने क्या कह दिया, अब अगर कोई भी लॉ बनेगा that has to be put before British Parliament. So that is why that law will be considered as act. Clear? So now rules are considered as act. Clear? So as per this act, Charter Act of 1833, Indian Law Commission was established, and first law commission had Lord Macaulay. His full name was T.B. Macaulay. So T.B. Macaulay was the chairman, Thomas Babington Macaulay. Clear? So he was there to codify all the Indian laws. Codify Indian laws. That is why you will see outcomes in 1859 like IPC, Indian Penal Code. Codification of law was already started. So this law commission started codification. CRPC, CPC. Getting my point? So these laws were codified. Now split in Bengal presidency. Yes, this act provided for the presidency of Bengal to be divided into presidencies of Agra and Fort William. So इस act में ये चीज आई that Bengal should be divided in the form of presidency of Agra and presidency of Fort William. But this thing never came into effect. ये बहुत important point है, ये आप लोगों को बहुत सारी जगह पे पता नहीं चलता है. Clear? Now, Indians in government service. Yes, this act for the first time gave permission for Indians to have share in country's administration, that everyone should be given jobs. Getting my point? That means addressing discrimination in employment. So this act actually allowed Indian people, they can hold employment, clear, and they can hold office also. Clear? So no discrimination should be there. So that is why this act is very important. This much is clear to all of you? Okay, ye yaad rakhiyega. So basically in this they mentioned that merit should be the basis of employment to government service. Now merit should be the basis, not birth, color, religion, anything. Clear? So discrimination was prohibited. Getting my point? Now abolition of slavery. Yes, for the first time in terms of Charter Act 1833, it talked about abolition of slavery. So number of British residents in the country were increasing, and that is why this act allowed for having 3 bishops in India as well. Now this act allowed for abolition of slavery because in Britain slavery was abolished in 1832. इसीलिए इस एक्ट में आया कि slavery को abolish करना चाहिए. And in India officially slavery was abolished in 1843. Abolition of slavery by 1843. Now apart from this, number of British residents in the country was increasing. Why? Because this act allowed more bishops in country. So that is why this act allowed for having 3 bishops in India. तो इस एक्ट के थ्रू इंडिया में 3 bishops आ गए थे. Clear? Now apart from this, this act also regulate for the establishment of Christian institutions in India. Yes, this act regulated, clear, that to establish and to regulate Christian institutions in India. So this is also considered as one of the most important act of East, that means British government, in the form of Charter Act 1833. Getting my point? So Charter Act 1833 is helpful in terms of you can say in terms of education. Now English medium of education came through Macaulay Minutes, and before 1835 Persian was the official language of India, and from 1835 English became official language of India. Remember this thing. तो अब English क्या हो गई? Official language हो गई India की. This much is clear to all of you from 1835. Now, so last but not least, so this Charter Act 1853. Now what is the background for Charter Act 1853? Why this act was introduced? So let me tell you that the background of this Charter Act 1853 was, see, there was double government, Court of Directors and Board of Controls were there. Getting my point? Now in terms of business delivery, the delivery has been delayed, clear, or overextended. Clear? So East India Company was not working properly. Clear? At the same time, British East India Company also acquired other regions like Sindh was acquired, Punjab was acquired. Clear? So various political changes came. So delay in the work of Court of Directors and Board of Control. Then new areas annexed like Punjab, Sindh, etc. So these new areas were also annexed. Clear? Then concerns were also expressed in the form of that Governor General of India's functions at Governor General of Bengal. Clear? Because now Governor General of India, but his seat was Bengal. So various concerns were there that sometimes Governor General of India, his decisions were in favor of Bengal presidency. ये भी एक बहुत बड़ा concern था that the decision of Governor General of India sometimes favored the decisions of Bengal. Clear? Remember this thing. So this is considered as one of the most important thing. Getting my point? And that is why British Parliament agreed to renew the Charter of East India Company in 1853. Clear everyone? So remember this thing. The main objective and provision of this Charter Act, as you can see here, that for the first time this act introduced open competition system of selection and recruitment of civil servants. Yes, open competition was introduced, and that is why after 10 years in 1863, Satyendra Nath Tagore became first ICS. Clear? Now for the first time, it separated legislative and executive functions of Governor General's Council. अभी मैं बताऊंगा structure आपको, because now additional members came. Then after this, for the first time, local representation in Indian Legislative Council was also introduced. Yes, local representation in Indian Legislative Council was introduced. So officially it came after the revolt of 1857. Then it extended the company's rule and allowed to retain possession of Indian territories. Getting my point? So this act also retained company's rules and they were allowed to retain the possession on Indian territories. Now, let me tell you, abhi tak structure kya tha? The structure was 3 plus 1 plus 1. Now here structure in 1853, Charter Act 1853 structure will be changed. Now what would be the structure? Structure would be 4 plus 1 plus 6. Now you must be thinking, what is this 4 plus 1? So here, as you can see here, this law member was added in this. That means total 4. So why law member was added? Though he was a member of Governor General Executive Council, but now law member became full-time member. Now he is having the right to vote also, everything. So here 4 plus 1 plus 6. These are additional members. These are additional members. So let me tell you, this 4 plus 1 is considered as Governor General Executive Council. Getting my point? Now, Governor General Executive Council plus additional 6 members, together they are called as Legislative Council. Getting my point? So 4 plus 1 members, they are Governor General Executive Council. Now additional 6 members introduced. So together Governor General Executive Council and additional members, together they are called as Legislative Council. This much is clear to all of you. So this act also created Legislative Council. So in Legislative Council, 6 additional members were introduced. Getting my point? Now UPSC will ask, what is the composition of these 6 additional members? Now, composition is very important. Getting my point? So as you can see here, Governor General's office. Now in this, law member who was the 4th member in Governor General Executive Council became full member with right to vote. Now Legislative Council. तो Legislative Council में total कितने लोग होंगे? 12 people. Now 12 कैसे? These are 6 additional members and 4 plus 1. तो इन दोनों को मिला के ही Legislative Council बनेगा. Together they are called as Legislative Council. So Legislative Council means Governor General Executive Council plus additional members. तब आप सोचेंगे कि सर then also 11 members only. So let me tell you one hidden provision. Legislative Council which had 6 members, now 12 members total. That means additional 6 members and plus 6 members. That means 12 members were 1 Governor General. This is Governor General. 1 Commander in Chief. Yes, there was one provision that they can have 1 Commander in Chief also, which is not mentioned here. So अब ये कितने हो जाएंगे? 6. So 1 Commander in Chief is different. Getting my point? And then 4 members of Governor General Council. So these 4 members of Governor General Council. So it is like 4 plus 1 plus 1. Clear? Governor General, then Commander in Chief and 4 members. This one is clear to all of you. Then in what was the composition of these 6 members now? अब इन 6 members का composition क्या होगा? So in this 6 member, 1 Chief Justice of Supreme Court at Calcutta will be there. 1 Chief Justice of Supreme Court at Calcutta, 1 regular judge of Supreme Court at Calcutta. So out of this 6, 2 and 4. So 2 members will be from Supreme Court. एक Chief Justice होगा, दूसरा 1 regular judge of Supreme Court. Then 4 members will be from ICS, company servant. So 4 members will be from ICS. So this was the composition of these 6 additional members. Now these 4 members, now remember this thing, these 4 members will be from ICS, but some eligibility was there that these 4 members should be having at least 10 years of experience, 10 years of tenure in ICS, and these 4 members will be appointed by provincial government like Bengal, एक member Bengal से होगा, एक Bombay, another Madras and another northwestern provinces. So 4 members from 4 different provinces at central level in legislative council. So it looks like parliamentary system now. Getting my point? So it is like mini parliament came. Clear? Now Governor General could also nominate a vice president to the council. Yes, Governor General was having the power to nominate vice president as well, and for any bill the assent of Governor General was necessary. Governor General का assent बहुत जरूरी था for all the legislative proposal. That is why you will see that in 1856 Widow Remarriage Act came. Widow Remarriage Act because of Governor General assent. Clear? Now apart from this, Court of Directors. अब Court of Directors की power क्या रहेगी? Who were there in East India Company? Now Court of Directors, they could create a new presidency or province. Yes, they were having the power, they could create a new presidency or province. Clear? Now how many Court of Directors were there? When East India Company was formed in 1600, at that time 24 Court of Directors were there. But with this Charter Act 1853, Court of Directors were reduced to 18. Earlier 24, now Court of Directors 18 in this act. So this is because now Court of Directors could create a presidency or province also, and this was because of difficulties that they were faced in administering the large Indian territories. Getting my point? तो उनको ये पावर दे दी गई थी कि आप प्रेसिडेंसीज क्रिएट कर सकते हैं, क्योंकि बड़ी बड़ी प्रेसिडेंसीज थी. सो दे वर फेसिंग वेरियस डिफिकल्टीज. गेटिंग माय पॉइंट? दैट इज व्हाई सिंस 1833 and 1853 two new provinces were created. So 1833 से 1853 तक two new provinces बनी. One was Sindh, another was Punjab was added. Clear? And it could also appoint, now Court of Directors could also appoint Lieutenant Governor. Yes, Court of Directors were having the power, they could appoint Lieutenant Governor for these provinces. For these provinces in the sense Punjab and Sindh. Clear? So in 1859, Lieutenant Governor was appointed for Punjab. After the revolt of 1857, in 1859, Lieutenant Governor was appointed for Punjab. And this Charter Act of 1853, this act also led to the creation of Assam, Burma and Central Province. ये चीजें पूछी जा सकती हैं in your examination. So this Charter Act 1853 led to the creation of new provinces like Assam, Burma and Central Province. So I hope this much is clear to all of you. So in this act we discuss minute information. Clear? So let me tell you that when this act came, Charter Act 1853, at that time Governor General of India was Lord Dalhousie, who is also considered as who developed modern India like railways, telegraph, post and all. So Lord Dalhousie became first Governor General without additional responsibility of being Governor of Bengal. Yes, ये बहुत कम लोगों को पता है कि Lord Dalhousie जो थे, he was the Governor General of India, but he was the first Governor General of India without the additional responsibility of being Governor of Bengal. तो इन्होंने Governor of Bengal की responsibility को नहीं निभाया. So who was the Governor of Bengal? So Lord Dalhousie के time period में, remember this thing, a Lieutenant Governor was appointed for Bengal, that was Andrew Fraser. Remember this thing. One Lieutenant Governor was appointed for Bengal called as Andrew Fraser. This is, now remember this thing, this is one of the most important information with respect to Charter Act 1853. Then the recruitment and recalling rights were transferred from Court of Directors to Board of Control. Yes. Now, recruitment rights, clear, recalling rights, which was under the control of Court of Directors of company earlier, now recruitment rights were transferred to Board of Control. Board of Control, who were the members of British Parliament. Board of Control में कौन थे? Members of British Parliament. And this act, Charter Act 1853, talked about open competition. That means written competitive exams started from 1854. Getting my point? So at that time in ICS examination, 2 language papers were there. 2 language. That means classical language of Europe, Greek and Latin was compulsory. It was compulsory, and horse riding was there. Horse riding. So the first ICS who qualified this exam was Satyendranath Tagore. Surendranath Banerjee was dismissed in horse riding and who became founding member of Congress. This much is clear to all of you. Remember this thing. Clear? So remember this. So in this act, that is Charter Act of 1853, appointment of separate governor of Bengal presidency, as I have said, Lieutenant Governor was appointed, whose name was Andrew Fraser. Clear? And Governor of Bengal should be different from Governor General. Clear? And Governor of Bengal was the head of Bengal presidency. Governor General of India was the head of administration of whole British India. Clear? And in this act, as I have said, that the number of board of directors were reduced from 24 to 18. And out of this 18 people, remember this thing, अब ये जो 18 people हैं, out of this 18 people, 6 people were to be nominated by British Crown. Out of this 18 people, 6 people were to be nominated by British Crown. That means gradually British Crown or British Parliament had taken the power in their hands. Clear? And with respect to Indian civil services, so Macaulay Committee of 1854 is very important. Macaulay Committee of 1854 gave India her first civil services. So Macaulay Committee only recommended for written competitive examination. It should be open for all. Clear? And this act removed the right of patronage in appointments held by Court of Directors. तो अब इस एक्ट ने पूरी तरीके से फुल कंपटीशन लिया था, ओपन कंपटीशन. नाउ देयर वाज नो रोल ऑफ कोर्ट ऑफ डायरेक्टर्स टू हेल्ड राइट टू हैव पैट्रोनेज, कि जिसको वो फेवर करेंगे बस वही बनेगा, ऐसा अब कुछ नहीं होगा. क्लियर? सो द अपॉइंटमेंट वाज टू बी डन बाय ओपन कंपटीशन एंड दैट टू बी बेस्ड ऑन मेरिट एंड इट वाज ओपन फॉर ऑल. Clear? So the report of Macaulay Committee of 1854 recommended only the fittest to be selected to ICS. Only fittest people will be selected for ICS. And apart from this, for the first time, local representation was introduced into Legislative Council in the form of 4 members, as I have said, because additional members were there, and in the additional members, 6 members were there, and out of 6 members, 2 will be from Supreme Court, 1 Chief Justice, another regular judge of Supreme Court. Other 4 members will be from ICS, but they will be appointed, they will be nominated by 4 provinces, that is Bengal, Bombay, Madras and Northwestern Province. This one is clear to all of you. So basically this act created a kind of mini parliament system. So I hope this much is clear to all of you. Getting my point? So अब कॉम्पोजिशन को रिवाइज करने के लिए क्या करिए, एक्ट चार्टर एक्ट ऑफ 1793, व्हाट वाज द कॉम्पोजिशन ऑफ गवर्नर जनरल एग्जीक्यूटिव काउंसिल 3+1. देन चार्टर एक्ट ऑफ 1813, composition was same, 3+1. 1 means governor general and 3 means members of governor general executive council. Clear? Then in Charter Act 1833 change came, and that change was 3+1 and +1. This one was Governor General only, and these are 3 members in Executive Council. This one was law member without having right to vote. He was not having the right to vote. Now in Charter Act 1853, now Remember this thing, that here 4 plus 1, 4 in the sense, now this one law member was given full-time position and right to vote also, so he was added in this. So 4 plus 1 means Governor General. So this is called as Governor General, Executive Council, and plus other 6 members. These are additional 6 members. Additional members. Out of this, 2 will be from Supreme Court. One was Chief Justice of Supreme Court, another regular judge, and 4 members ICS, and they were appointed by 4 provinces: Bengal, Madras, Bombay, Northwestern Province. Clear? So together Governor General, Executive Council plus additional members are called as Legislative Council. Legislative Council. So I hope this much is clear to all of you. So with this we have completed all the Charter Acts, and I hope this will be helpful for your UPSC prelims examination 2024. Just go through this video again and again, revise each and everything wisely. Thank you so much.